This is the Man in a Room podcast.
Insane. Do you know what? I don't actually ever record the intro at the beginning of the episode. I usually record at the end. I usually just do stupid things at the beginning just to kill time, you see, because it gets me in the mood for the episode. And I actually had a plan what I was going to talk about today. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead because I just remember something I need to get out there into the world, into the wide world. It's insane. The conspiracy is real. It's not really real. It's not really a conspiracy. It's all genuinely real, but it's like you hear the older secret, the old secret Facebook groups. Well, I found out about one the other day, and I was like, what? What is that? That can't be true. So basically, I was at a friend's house, and I was with a couple of friends, and one of them was just nonchalantly whistling. People do that. It's not a common thing. Not sort of heard since the milkman, really. Milkman, that'd be a bit weird when you actually think about that. People, in my head anyway, I associate whistling with milkman. I don't know why, and I guess because milkmen are a thing of the past now. When you actually think about that for a second, a milkman is somebody who would walk around delivering milk to you every morning. You'd pay him, and he'd bring you fresh milk every day. It's a bit weird, really, isn't it? So my friend was just nonchalantly whistling, and my other friend was like, "Are you part of that group on Facebook?" And we're like, "What?" The whistling one. I was like, what are you talking about? And my friend was also like, what are you talking about? And apparently there's a Facebook group online, well, that's where Facebook is, where people talk about whistling technique. They talk about, they actually critique each other as well. They basically record themselves whistling, and they have like Whistle Wednesday, where you have to submit a whistle on a Wednesday and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, it's a bit weird, isn't it? And so yeah, we're trying to get into this group to try and infiltrate it, just to see if it'd be funny to see what's on there really. But my friend was telling me about it, and so he obviously has shown it to me. And the thing is, though, what's so funny about it, right, is that it's called Whistlers, Brothers and Sisters, which is difficult to say, but it's actually quite funny because it actually sent me down a rabbit hole. I talk about rabbit holes. Rabbit holes happen to me quite a lot, where I'll basically just get lost down the rabbit hole of just random stuff that happens online. And I actually looked it up because, it's obviously a play on words for Whistler's mother, because obviously the famous painter, I think it's John Whistler is his name, and he painted his mother, and it's a play on word for Whistler's brothers and sisters. But the funny thing is that not a lot of people actually know this, but Whistler, the painter, invented whistling. Completely true. So basically, what he actually, he used to whistle when he was doing stuff, you see. And obviously before sort of recorded music, it was very difficult for music to really get out. And so there's a lot of people for many years who had never seen a musical instrument, never heard anything. There's no live performances, and then suddenly like recorded music is when whistling started coming around. But then the other way to transmit music was actually through whistlers. And obviously, as a learned man, he'd go out and go to the opera and all that kind of stuff. And, as a highfalutin kind of chap, painting his mum and all that kind of stuff. And he got to be known as the whistler. He was a whistler, you see. And, it's actually quite fascinating, really. But anyway, so basically, this group is just insane. And they actually record themselves doing actual music. Like, they're actually, at the beginning when I was doing my whistling stuff, that's the kind of thing that's on there. And it really fascinated me, the thing that actually exists, and there's actually a community for that. There's a community for everything out there now. It's actually genuinely bonkers. Absolutely mad. And, I wasn't going to talk about that, but that's now, I don't know how long this has been recording for now, but it's been long enough, I think. I need to have a break. My cup of tea is going to be cold. My routine of recording the first part of the episode and drinking my tea, this tea is pretty much cold now. So, I better drink that as well. So anyway, I'll be back after this very short break, and I'll get back on track to, the episode.
If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please do not hesitate to send them to show@maninneroom.co.uk.
There's many sort of weird communities out there. There's just so many, and a lot of them are just like an unwritten rule kind of situation. And I've actually witnessed this myself, but I actually don't know how widespread this is, or it's like a little thing. But apparently, if you drive a Mini and you see somebody else driving a Mini, you must wave at them. There's an unwritten rule. Basically, years ago this was a thing, and it's still a thing. And it's a very unusual situation to be in. It's like, do you keep it going, or do you want to be the rude person who drives the Mini? No, you don't want to be that person. So you just hold up just to save face, really. And that happens quite a lot in day-to-day life, really, because there are times when you sort of see somebody and your eyes sort of meet for a few seconds, maybe a second too long, and you've got to now acknowledge each other's existence. It's like a little weird sort of grimace of almost like a smile, but not really. You basically do like a weird sort of, not even a half-assed smile, just basically a kind of face. What I do, I raise my eyebrows, and I sort of like put my head back a little bit, like, yeah, all right there. And if not, if they don't react, I'm like, that doesn't really matter. I just pretend I've just remembered something, like I need to get some sticks, But then, what's also quite funny is that you would expect there to be an unwritten rule between people who have beards. Now, I have a beard, and I have a beard for a couple of reasons. Those reasons are as follows. One, I get really bad shaving rash underneath my chin on my neck, and it's really painful. It's all from ingrown hairs, you see. It's not very nice, and it doesn't look very nice either, so I don't do that. And two, I'm lazy. I don't do it for the aesthetic. I basically just, let it just do its thing. Occasionally I get it trimmed, because my friend is an excellent barber. It's like, this is your project, you can do what you want with it. Anyway, so then whenever I see someone else with a beard, I'm thinking, oh, they've got a nice beard, I might better get some tips. There's like an unwritten rule of if you've got a beard, you can just discuss things freely. Nope. Don't mention you've got a beard. That's my rule. If I see somebody with a beard, I don't mention that they've got a beard, because you don't want to come across as a weirdo. A bearded weirdo. In fact, talking about weirdos, right? This might shock you also, but I am actually bald. I used to shave it properly, but I don't really do it very often because I'm quite lazy. But when I used to shave it every day and all this kind of stuff, this guy I used to see this. I used to work in a coffee shop, you see, and this guy used to come in and he used to always talk about head shaving and all this kind of stuff. Okay, there's not much to really talk about, really, is there? Well, how often do you shave your head? Once a day, maybe once every 2 days. That's the conversation done. Okay, there's no trick, there's no nothing. It's basically just like you do it, it's done. And then, but this conversation would happen every single time he would come in. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. And, so, I've actually experienced it on both sides. So I don't want to be that kind of person that does that. But I saw this guy with his massive, huge, straggly beard. I was like, well, okay. So I wonder if he'll let me sort of, we could touch tips of beards, but no, nothing like that. So that didn't happen. But it was actually quite weird, actually, because there are people who own beards, and they sort of fall into a couple of categories. One, like me, is the lazy one, and two, the one who does it for the aesthetics. And that was probably terrible grammar there, but I don't remember what I said, and I can't bother to re-record it, because this is it, and I've recorded this, right, because my computer crashed. But anyway, so, there's the lazy person like me, and there's the ones who do it for the aesthetic. And, that's fair enough. People do whatever they want with their faces for whatever reason. It's up to them. But you can always kind of tell what kind of person they are. But you can kind of tell if it's really well groomed, if it's got ridiculous product on it, if it's straight. You can kind of tell the aesthetic. But the lazy people like me sort of let it go. But the guy who I saw, it was just long. It's just a big beard, you see. And I must have given off this vibe, you see. As I said, you can kind of tell people who own beards if they've got it for the aesthetic, or if they're lazy, or that sort of that liberal lefty scum that I am. Anyway, so we didn't really speak much actually, but he had like a few words, and that's it pretty much. And then he's like, "Can I give you this card?" I went, "Okay." I thought, great. I've now got to take this card, and I got that awkward. Got to look at the card and all this kind of stuff, and be like, "Oh, thank you," because there was no situation there where a card was going to be given. It was a simple, straightforward back and forth that should have ended before giving the card out, kind of thing. So I was like, I give it a quick glance, and then I put it in my pocket. And then I went, "All right, no problem, all right, bye." So he left, and then he left. I thought, I better just go look at this card. So I got it out, and it said on there about electromagnetic fields. And I was like, okay, so basically he must have seen me and thought, okay, he's got a beard. He also must be scared of electromagnetic fields. Jump to the conclusion. So I was like, okay, so I looked at electromagnetic fields, or, we can help protect you from 5G, 4G, 3G, your Wi-Fi, your devices in your house, and your neighbour's devices. I thought, okay, bit strange. So anyway, I thought, whatever. So when I got home, I thought, I'm going to look this up on the internet. I want to see what this person is trying to sell me here. This person who had a chance encounter with a fellow beardsman, and he thought to himself, do you know what? I'm going to see what this person thinks, what wavelength, of if we are on the similar wavelength. And he's basically selling this rock. This simple rock apparently stops electromagnetic fields or stuff like that, and it'll protect you. Kind of like the one from Better Call Saul, the brother from Better Call Saul, Chuck. He's scared of electromagnetic fields and that kind of stuff. He has I don't think I give off a Chuck vibe. I don't think I do. But anyway, I'm not having a go at people who, believe this stuff. I'm not here to judge anybody for anything. I'm not that kind of person. I mean, I've got on my desk right now an item that has prevented bear attack for many years. Because ever since I've had that, I've not had a bear attack. So, it's doing pretty good. So I thank you, Funko Pop action figure of Dale Cooper. If you want to buy it, it'd be £9,000. No, I can't sell that. He'll keep the log lady company. Probably Ren and Stimpy. But anyway, I've waffled on there quite a bit about essentially nothing, which is nothing new. So I'll catch you all again at some point. Hope you had a good day, and hope your week is going well. Hopefully it's a weekend soon. If not, well, a weekend is just around the corner. I don't know, I'm going with that. But anyway, I'll speak to you all later, and goodbye.
Who is the man? Where is the room? It's some guy you've never heard of, in a room you've never been in. For more information, head over to maninaroom.co.uk.